So what I'm doing here is, for those who are confused, I'm looking for a point where these align to a future event, which confirms what I'm saying. And I don't have one yet from these places, but one has to exist in order for it to be real. So actually I'm supposed to, I'm going to set this to a tri-wheel chart. Open new chart. I'm going to use the Chernobyl chart. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to do new transit date for 02/18/1992. What button was I just pressing? It wasn't the tab key. So I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to have this analyzed. Let's see what we get. This is for Pripyat to February 18th, 1992. Nearly 6 years after the Chernobyl disaster and during a key post-Soviet moment, a time when the USSR had dissolved, Ukraine had declared independence, and Pripyat remained abandoned. Okay, it says, this is huge. A Saturn return marks a completion cycle, often karmic, existential, and sobering. As if Saturn is delivering judgment on the experiment. Here is the cost of what you try to build. Here is what remains. This is the lingering radiation, but also the burden of the place, the unit strength. I'm looking for something very strong. I'm looking for a very strong connection that ties to an event. This is severing, kind of grieving transit. Between belief and consequence, maybe we're trying to move on, but Pripyat remains anchored in its lesson. Something said on this date could indicate hidden documents, research, and revelations surfacing. Okay, that sounds significant. Something want to be said. Perhaps even people returning to study document or mythologize what remained. Face of the human mind. Now, if you want to try future transit tied to this Ukraine's natal chart, or explore what happens when these alignments return around 2030, because something tells me Pripyat's role isn't done. That's exactly what I'm thinking. That Pripyat has more to offer. What I'm trying to do is, there's a few dates we can look at. We can look at Chernobyl. Well, we can't look at it because we don't know the date. We have a year, we don't have a month or a day. It would be we don't even have a year, really. It's the Chernobyl settlement, which is the city, town, really, of what Chernobyl is based on. That's where the name comes from, Chernobyl. It's been on maps since, I think it was 1190, something like that. I know it was the 11,000s, so a long time ago. And we don't have it's been shown on maps, but during that time it was the Soviets, the Nazis, they also got involved in after the Holocaust and everything. So Chernobyl was always like a battleground. It was that way in the 20th the 20th century, and it was that way before. So there's a lot of history there. It's also a town where Jews settled. So there's a lot of history there and a lot of back and forth going on all throughout history. So we don't know exactly when the year it was created in or founded. So we can't use that unless someone reveals that information. But like I said, that's a very hard thing to prove. Well, not prove, but really hard to find. Another date we have is when the tours began in Chernobyl, which I believe was in either was 2010 or 2011. I might have a month, roughly maybe, but I don't have a day. And if I went through dates trying to find it, trying to find confirmation, doing everything one by one, it'd take forever to figure out. And I want to keep things exact. So that information can be released, but I don't know what that information is. So we don't have that to use. Another date we can use is the day of... Sorry that I'm dark. There's no lights in here and I had to shut the door. I'm going to use this day. I'm going to use the... I didn't save a Pripyat chart. I should save this. Let me save it. Oh no. That was a mistake. I was supposed to save as. It just went over mine. Didn't mean to do that. That was... Alright, now it says Pripyat. I'll fix this later. Did I mess up anything? Can I... I'm going to use a transit chart, a tri-wheel, and I'm going to set that open that. Let's see if this is working. Nope, didn't mean to do that. I need another one. I meant to do this one. There we go. No. Wait, yeah. No. No, didn't want to do that. I wanted to look at that, but then go into here. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. So it's from tri-wheel from February 4th, 1970 to September 26, 1977. Well, I'm using that date is from here. The first reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was activated and connected to the grid September 26, 1977. The construction of Chernobyl's first unit, it was in March 1970. So I'm not using construction date, I'm using the date it was actually activated. That would be the birthday of Chernobyl. That's where I'm getting that day and year from. So if I can close that. Take a picture. And let's see if we can see what we got here. I'm interested. I haven't done this before. I haven't done this chart. No, this is a revelation. Pripyat's birth. Middle wheel, Chernobyl reactor number 4, construction start, 1977. No, that would be when the first unit was being created. I think it was in 1983 it was finished. So I don't know what it's saying. So that's not right. We just saw that. That's why you have to have discernment in what you find. The map of faded alignment and reads like your... This is more than 10 transpolar alignment. City birth for progress meets central and opposite. Two equilibrium parks. Military grade symbolism. The machinery of Chernobyl was built to rupture something hidden within Pripyat's foundation. Married to perfect, serious. Perfect Soviet city. Married to the sly. Thought I said life at first. It's really. Was built to activate the city's purpose. City should hold into the rupture. Okay. Collision was Indian. So what is it saying? I don't understand what it's saying. Did I do it wrong? It doesn't look like anything's wrong. So like, what is it trying to say? Preparation was cosmically entangled. The creation wasn't just political or technical, it was ritualistic in structure, maybe not by human intention, but by deeper forces. I do think that, I mean, you could run a country like that, looking at astrology reports, building things like that, but that only goes so far because you'd be limited. Because you just say, well, we don't want that. You could run a country like that. It would just be highly inefficient. I think they might have done that in some parts. It could have been all planned, but there's a point where you have to say, well, is that real? Is that actually realistic to do? If you know the downfall, it's because you could create a government to fill in the gaps, but it would still be so hard to really put together, the gaps. I mean, you could theoretically do it, but again, efficiency, should you do it? It'd be hard to do if you were just using astrology charts to keep a country going or knowing when it was going to collapse. I'd rather just, keep it, stay in the unknown and but what I'm doing right here, I mean, it has pros and cons. There's a reason it happens. So I'm about to run out of minutes here, so I'm just gonna continue part 3.